Happy Christmas! I hope everyone is having a warm, safe and wonderful holiday. So, you may have expected a Christmas film video review about Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life. No, I will be discussing about the original Black Christmas, released in 1974. It is a Canadian slasher whodunit horror film written by Roy Moore, produced and directed by Bob Clark. With this being 50 years old, why not be the perfect time to share my feelings and opinions about why this Christmas horror film is scary? I am aware of the 2006 remake and the 2019 version. I haven't seen either, and I don't know if I want to. The first time I watched Black Christmas was back in 2021 on the night before Christmas. When I finished the film, I remember getting chills down my spine. I felt creeped out on levels that were unforgettable and satisfying. Since then, I have rewatched it for the recent Christmas holidays to see if I can pick up anything new about the film, and also for dark, twisted, great entertainment. Yes, I know, I need help. It's become one of my favourite Christmas films. It's also a rewatchable favourite, and I love it. Spoilers, by the way, for Black Christmas. If you haven't seen the film, go watch it now and come back later to check out this video. Anyway, grab a warm drink, a mince pie, and let's get into it. 1974's Black Christmas is about a group of sorority girls who are stalked by a stranger during their Christmas break. So the film begins with an established shot of a house where the sorority girls live, along with the opening titles. We hear exterior sound effects of wind and other background noises, and also a choir version of Silent Night. The feelings I get when processing this version of the song has a calming but creepy tone. It makes me feel like Christmas is meant to be a time for warmth and peace, but at the same time, based on what this film is going for, there is also coldness and danger in the midst, so pretty much something doesn't feel completely right here. Shortly, we see a POV shot of a mysterious character approaching the house with some of the most discomforting breathing I have ever heard. This unknown individual is our killer. He then somewhere walks around the left side of the house and climbs up into the attic, or in other words, like me, if you're based in the UK, the word being the loft. A couple of things I really liked about this first scene. Firstly, it's terrifying to know that this killer doesn't get caught by anyone when he breaks into the loft. This guy is a professional. The second being is the use of the POV shot. It does a fantastic job of creating suspense, uncertainty, and unawareness towards the sorority girls. I do wonder if John Carpenter was inspired by Black Christmas for a certain classic horror film for this aspect. So later on, the killer's name is guessed to be identified as Billy. When our main character named Jess, played by the great Olivia Hussey, gets a phone call from him and hears the name Billy.
I know what you did, Billy! Filthy Billy! Billy! Billy!
Stop this!
When we hear this very creepy and disturbing voice or voices, it brings up a couple of questions about who Billy is. Does he have multiple personality disorder? Or Is he just having fun by messing around towards Jess and the other sorority girls to make them feel not safe? This shows Billy is a killer with so much more unknownness and again uncertainty about him. Speaking of phone calls, this is another horror trope that Black Christmas was the pioneer in the use of phone calls from killers in the horror genre, and I do wonder if Wes Craven was inspired by Black Christmas for a certain horror film in that aspect. I love the way these phone call scenes are captured and executed. There is so much discomfort and tension, especially the scene when the character Bill Graham and the great John Saxon try to get a trace of the location of where Billy is calling from when he's on the phone to Jess.
But your mother and I must know it!
Eventually, Bill Graham gets a trace of the location of Billy, and the police have to tell Jess where the calls are coming from.
The caller is in the house.
The calls are coming from the house. Jess, get up! And don't go up there!
Run, Jess! This obviously makes it more scary and dangerous for Jess and her friends, and for us, the audience, and it really shows that the stakes are high and that no one is safe now. Let's talk about the music of Black Christmas by Carl Zittrier. This soundtrack always sends shivers down my spine whenever it pops in of when the characters are in danger or when someone's about to be killed. For example, the character of Claire. It is so experimental in the way the variety of instruments being used. It's so eerie, anonymous and chilling. The film's editing and pacing are fantastic. The timing of the editing is brilliant. The way it transitions from ending a scene to beginning the next one. For example, when Jess knocks on Claire's bedroom door but doesn't get a response. The film then cuts to the next day with a cross-dissolved transition of a clock tower. We see Claire's father waiting for her, but he starts to feel concerned as she is late to meet him. What makes the editing and pacing excellent for this particular scene is that it carries the audience along through time from night to day. Furthermore, on a character level, the editing and pacing makes these short but important scenes to be personal towards Claire, but mostly towards her father. When it comes to feeling concerned about his own child's absence and safety. Regarding the kills, they are not exactly shown fully or even gory. It's very much one of those horror films where you're about to see the kill happen or slightly see the kill happening, but you mostly see the disturbing aftermath of the dead victims. The original film of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre also goes for this creative choice. It's to let the audience use their imagination of the gruesome details and aftermath, and it works of being effective in Black Christmas. The film's cinematography is amazing. It has, in my opinion, some of the most iconic shots in horror film history, such as there is a low-angle shot of Billy's face where you can only see half of his appearance by the lighting when he is about to kill the character Barb. But my favourite shot in the entirety of this film is the close-up of Billy's eye. This terrifying moment happens when Jess breaks into Barb's room as it's locked. She falls onto the floor and sees two dead bodies of her friends on a bed, and then, well, I will let you see for yourself of what happens next.
Agnes, it's me, Billy. Agnes, don't you tell what we did, Agnes.
Jess, I think you better run. I love this scene. It gives me goosebumps all of the time. Just looking at this striking eye is a great example of how to use scary imagery in horror. In Black Christmas, it is presented to be a simple and subtle idea by being more unsettled by Billy's unknown appearance and the mysterious voices based on the excellent camera work and sound. Plus, the use of the colour red on Billy's blue eye shows so much evil and darkness about him. The acting is brilliant, natural, and never over the top for a horror film. The way the main cast performs as the sorority girls show a lot of likability, innocence, and sense of humour. With all of that said, when some of the sorority girls get killed off one by Billy, it shows a lot of believable, devastating effects on their families, friends, and us the audience. I've mentioned this before in other horror film review videos. If you create likeable characters, you will feel more empathy for their safety, fear, pain, and eventually getting killed off. Trust me. Now on to something lighter about Black Christmas. This film has a great sense of humour and many laugh out loud moments, particularly with the characters of Mrs. Mack and Barb. Especially when Mrs. Mack has hidden and reveals she has bottles of alcohol around the sorority house, in a book and in a toilet cistern. But the funniest scene to me is in Claire's room, where we see a collage of pictures of this old woman and one of the pictures is her flipping off. It's just hilarious from the timing of the camera work, editing, and the different reactions of Claire's father and Mrs. Mack. Regarding this film's main theme is about the threat of male violence against women, so misogyny. Billy the Killer, a male by his subtle appearance, only targets and kills women throughout the film, but also the difficult relationship between Jess and Peter. Peter is played by 2001 A Space Odyssey's Kia Dahlia, who is great in the film and performs a lot of unpredictability towards Jess by his faithless manners. The situation Jess and Peter are going through is that Jess is pregnant and she wants an abortion. Peter is not happy with that and doesn't support any of her choices.
You selfish bitch. You're talking about killing our baby as though you were having a wart removed.
Instead, and along with wanting the baby,
I'm quitting the conservatory and we're getting married.
Do you remember when we first met? You told me about your wanting to be a concert pianist, how it was your greatest dream, and I told you about some of the things that I wanted to do. I still want to do those things. You can't ask me to drop everything I've been working for and give up all my ambitions because your plans have changed.
So Peter comes across a bit controlling and selfish towards Jess. When Jess just experienced the death of her friends and Billy's appearance behind the door, she runs to the basement while Billy chases her and he fails to catch her. Peter appears from outside and breaks into the basement and feels potentially dangerous because of the way his entrance appears to be not friendly and the way he calls out Jess's name.
Jess? 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 Jess?
Eventually, Peter and Jess see each other, but something doesn't feel right the way he approaches her.
What's all the yelling about? Jess, you had me worried. What are you doing down here?
And just like that, she kills Peter out of self-defense, and it then makes her believe that Peter was the killer the whole time, just like us the audience. So, you can see that Black Christmas does deal with some very political, deep, social, and current day subject matters. I felt it was handled well by the directing, writing, dialogue, and acting. So now we have come towards the end of this film. Oh boy, this is one of the scariest endings from a horror film. So by now, Peter is believed to be the killer by the police and media, some of the bodies have been discovered, and Jess is being left alone in her room asleep from the shock that she's just experienced. So I'm guessing by now that all seems calm and at peace, and the case is closed. I guess.
Agnes, it's me, Billy.
Okay, Jess, please wake up and make a run for it. I mean it this time. So yeah, it shows that Billy was never found of his whereabouts and is the killer, not Peter. Well, you can leave that to your interpretation. Who knows, maybe Billy and Peter worked together. Maybe Billy killed some of them and Peter killed some of the other sorority girls. I don't know. But what is really scary about this ending is that Jess is still in danger. There is no one left in that house except for her asleep and Billy in the loft. To be alone inside that sorority house with Billy is scary. He now has more opportunities to attack Jess, and she has less chance of survival against Billy. And that is the end of the original Black Christmas. If you have never seen this film, it is definitely worth checking out if you are either a fan of the slasher genre or just looking to watch something a bit darker this Christmas. I would recommend you watch this on the night before Christmas. I don't know exactly why, but it is worth it. I'm going to give 1974's Black Christmas 5 stars out of 5. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please let me know your thoughts about the film in the comments below. Feel free to watch another video and check out my social media sites. Links are in the description below. Before I go, I just wanted to thank all of you lot, the 246 people, for watching. It's been an amazing second year talking about films on this platform. I am very excited to be continuing YouTube for 2025. Have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. Until next time.